Okay, we will test the sound. And I can hear myself, so please turn off any. Thank you. Okay, testing the sound. Does it sound okay? Too loud? Now it works? Great. So we will start in 2 minutes. I see that you've already started to write some questions in the Connect chat. I will address those questions soon, but we will start in 2 minutes. So if I forget to bring any attention to your questions, please just raise your hand or write a private message to me so that I can see it. Sometimes my attention will be on the screen, so it will take a while to answer the questions. But perhaps someone in the class who is following the chat also can raise your hand here if you see a question. But I saw that there were some registration issues. And some other class, some other lecture starting at the same time. Okay. Yeah, my Moodle. So, yeah, now it's time to start, and I will actually record this using 2 different softwares, so we won't lose our recording so easily. Hello, and welcome to Software Testing. My name is Daniel Toll. I'm a passionate programmer and a passionate tester. I have been programming for, I guess, more than 20 years now. I started when I was really, really young, and my dream was to become a game programmer, and I programmed a couple of games together with a colleague of mine here at Linnéuniversitetet. But now I'm a part-time researcher, PhD student, and part-time lecturer. So I give lectures in testing, and I give lectures in web programming, software quality, that sort of stuff. Most of my courses are very focused on programming. So I really love programming. I want to share that passion with you. So maybe we can increase the size of the chat, like that. Okay, so we're going to use English for this lecture. It's because some of the students are only speaking English, and perhaps they're learning Swedish, but and I know Swedish, so you can ask me questions in Swedish, and if you ask questions in Swedish, I will hopefully remember to translate those questions to English. It's okay to use Swedish even in Slack, because we're going to use Slack, as some of you've already seen. But the main language is English, so if you feel confident, use English. And we will have 2 tutors, Joseph and Florian, and they are speaking English, so you're probably going to need to work with English anyway, right? Yes. So the schedule is sort of like the following. Each week, for a couple of weeks, we will have a lecture. Around 3 hours of lecture, I think, I've booked at least, or I hope I've booked 3 hours of lectures each week. The lectures are intended to give you language, right? Vocabulary, stuff like that. Perhaps a little bit of inspiration, a good time. At least you can laugh at me a bit with my lousy English, with sort of weird accent, American accent, I guess. Yes, you're free to ask questions during these lectures, and sometimes we will have some kind of practices or stuff that we do during the lectures, like discussions and stuff. And even if you're online, I will divide you into small groups, and you will have like a chat, or you can have a voice chat or whatever to discuss whatever questions we're discussing at the moment. Right. Anyone is welcome to attend the online chat or the online lectures, and anyone is welcome to attend the campus lectures in Kalmar. So my seat is in Kalmar, so therefore I only give lectures in Kalmar. It should be very transparent if you're online or on campus. At least that is my goal, right? Anything other? Yeah, I will be doing a bit of coding on the lectures. This is a programming course. Perhaps, at least some of the lectures I will do a bit of coding. And in the beginning of this course, we will do a lot of programming. So you will have an assignment where you're supposed to learn how to use unit tests, and supposed also to use the design method of test-driven development. So if it was like long ago, that you programmed, you're probably gonna need to brush up on your programming skills. So I know this is a weird thing to say to the students in the campus classroom, but maybe some of you did not program for like 2 months or something like that, or 6 months or something like that, and then you really need to brush up on your programming. I've said in my welcome email that you should install Eclipse and download Java and stuff like that, but really that is the language or the programming language that I will show on the lectures, and also perhaps the language that our instructors or tutors will be able to give you help in, right? But you're actually free to use the programming language of your choice, but perhaps the examination and perhaps the tutoring session will suffer a little bit. So if you feel confident to use another language and another test framework, you're free to do that. Yes, I'm recording, yes. It has been said that it's probably a good idea to watch these recordings like 2 to 4 times. So I try to put too much information in them, and just watching them once will probably not do it for everyone. So at least that is what the students tell me. Okay, yeah. Yes, so I will be recording these lectures. Yeah, so that was one of the questions. We will do 3 assignments. And actually the order here is in the wrong order. So first we will do a programming assignment, and that is the one that is named TDD here. And you will do a lot of programming. It's sort of a programming project. So I want you to spend like 60 hours at least of programming or something like that. Depends on your skills, depends on who you are and what you need and how long ago it was for you to be programming. If it was very long ago and you seem to have a hard time, you need to spend more time. If you know unit tests, if you have good programming skill, perhaps you don't need to spend more time than a couple of hours, right? Depends on your prerequisites or pre-skills. The programming assignment is sort of free. It's like a project, but the examination of it will be that we will ask you questions and we will ask you to do a bit of programming for us. So you really need to study on this one. Yeah, I think that I used to like, what's it called when you underkänner? Disapprove, no. Yeah, I used to fail like 80% on this assignment because when I say that you need to study and you need to know these things and you need to have answers for the questions, perhaps the study questions in this assignment. Some of the students don't believe me, right? So they think that, okay, I can just go to the examination. And it turns out it's quite hard to be programming when someone is watching, right? So sort of that stuff. I've had at least one student who on the 4th attempt said that, oh, this time I spent around this much hours and I really understand what you wanted. So you need to read these assignments thoroughly and you need to be practicing. So yeah, so I will address some of these registration issues soon. Yes, so after that first horrible adventure in examination land, we will do a system testing assignment. So that will be a more broad group assignment where you do system testing and you write a test plan. And yeah, that will probably, it's sort of a big assignment, but you can do it in a group. And you will give other groups feedback on their test plans, because test plan is about communication. So you need to read other people's test plan and you need to give them feedback and you need to learn from that, and then we will examine how good you are at giving feedback and how good you are at writing these. Yeah. And the third part is that we want to have some kind of connection to research, current research in the area. So I want you to be researching something in testing. There are a lot of different papers published in the area of testing. There are a lot of different topics in testing. So you can research one subject, and I want you to write an essay. So many of you have written essays before, and I want you to be able to write something now. Soon you will be writing a thesis, right? And it will be very important to write in a scientific way and to be able to cite sources and to be able to read scientific papers and stuff like that. So it's sort of a simple task, according to me, but you will read a couple of papers and you will write about those papers, right? And you will cite those papers. And yeah. So last year, at least, most of the students got failed because of they didn't know how to cite things. So this year, I hope that I will address this issue, and perhaps you will need to pass a citation threshold first, right? Or we will address the citations in the lectures. Right? So citations is sort of easy, so it should not be a problem. Yeah. So the book sort of got out of print, so and that is a bad thing. But I've posted a lot of links on my lecture slides. So there will be a lot of mostly Wikipedia links, but because these lectures are on, yeah, sort of giving you a vocabulary, right, and giving you an introduction to the subject. So you can probably gonna need to read up on the subject. Yes. If you have the book, really great. I've seen a PDF out there somewhere on a link I cannot post. Yeah, and you're free to. There are a lot of good resources out there. There are YouTube movies, there are people writing test blogs and stuff like that. And if you find something that you think is worth sharing, please do. We're sort of doing this course together, right? And I want you to also share that responsibility of making this a good course. So if you find this is the ultimate testing resource, sure you should post it. Perhaps I should post it on the course webpage, right? It's slightly incomplete course, so I've not really finished the course that I was giving last week. I have like a lot of projects to examine and fail, or perhaps put a good grade on. So there might be some stuff on the course webpage that is not really there yet. So one of those things are, and that is high priority for me to fix, is the deadlines. So I will try to put the deadlines up as soon as possible, perhaps at least in the end of this week. Yeah. So registration issues and My Moodle. So we're not going to use My Moodle. So as, was that you posting the web page? No, Rasmia posted the page, the course web page, and yeah. And I got the question if we're going to use the APA site system. I think that it's not specified what site system. I think that you should use a site system. Yes. And yeah, so some of you have had some registration issues, and if you have applied for this course, there are many students on this course, so we have had to say no to some students, right? So 120 students or so have applied, or more than 120 students have applied. So we have accepted 120 students into this course, and that is so much more than last year. So there shouldn't be that many places in this course, but someone failed or up somewhere. So if you have applied for this course on antagning, or if you are guaranteed a place on this course, of course you're going to take it, but you need to fulfill the prerequisites. So I will check the prerequisites of those students who have been assigned a place to this course, but with, yeah, what's it called? You probably got an email if you got it. That I need to approve for you to go this course or not. So I cannot take you into this course if you have not applied for this course. So there is a link on Slack, and I'm going to post it in the course web chat. Soon. The online petition form. So I hope this one works. Where you can, this is upprop petition. So what you do when you write your name here is that you want me to check your prerequisites. If you already know that you are registered, you don't need to fill this in. So these are only for the students that know that I have problems registering. Yes. Okay. That was sort of most of the stuff. Anyone has any questions that I've not addressed yet? No? You're excited to start the course now, right? Yeah. So I will just stop this recording because I want one recording for this part and another recording for the other part. So.